a little bit about how you might get parted from your Bitcoin, and it has to do with a particular form of attack that is a civil attack and a social engineering attack, and it is called fiat medicine. You will be departed from your Bitcoin if you enter this healthcare system that is currently centrally controlled. It is heavily politicized. It's one-size-fits-all medicine, and these markets are controlled with mandates, kickbacks, and all types of capture. However, this community is in a unique position to actually be able to address this, because the core of this problem is actually from something known as what we call fiat science in peer review. The peer review system is incredibly centralized, and it gets induced into these mob attacks where they get all types of researchers to come and take down papers that are counter-narrative and accelerate papers that are, in fact, that are for the narrative. There's lots of conflicts in this centralized medicine. We have the NIH that has billions of dollars being handed out, yet they're on the royalty stream of vaccines. So you can imagine how medicine can end up in disrupting your actual health and your time chain. If you don't believe me, there's many different examples of this during the pandemic. James Sodaro, a great Bitcoiner, actually tweeted this one out called Surgisphere. Surgisphere was a fraud that ended up taking HCQ off the market. It stopped a clinical trial, people died, and nobody went to jail. The Watson paper came out, a complete and utter fraud. This paper suggested that these vaccines saved millions of people. It's now known that this is actually a modeling error. There's the proximal origins paper that tried to claim that this virus came from a pangolin that mated with a bat. This is another egregious fraud that has accepted narrative that this gain of function research actually does something productive for us. In fact, when it creates leaks. And of course, there are all the other SSRIs, the statins, Vioxx, Fosamax. These are all drugs that have proven to do the opposite of what they've been claimed to do. Fosamax being perhaps the most potent one, which was meant to help osteoporosis and gauging brittle bones. And so there's the flattening curve story, but what I want to focus on today is the one that hit the most people, which are the mRNA vaccines. These things were distributed to 5 billion people, 13 billion doses, and this is very much BitConnect in the biotech space, right? We basically had the FDA running cheerleaders for these vaccines, and they're supposed to be the regulator. So to understand where this went wrong, you have to know a little bit about the proof of work that goes on in DNA. In order to write DNA, you have to consume cellular energy. You have to consume ATP. It gets literally written into the message. So this proof of work system is what's required for this DNA chain, if you will, to get distributed around the world and for it to have high fidelity. Jack Mallers gave us a great talk a couple conferences ago. He talked about DNA being a time chain, or at least the Bitcoin system being a time chain that's required to synchronize global transactions. Your DNA is a very similar time chain in that it is globally replicating, and it replicates at a faster rate than the 10 to the 21st hash rate that you have in Bitcoin every day.
Subscribe.